What's up, y'all? It's your boy Said. Let's talk. Man. Yeah, man, it's early in the morning, y'all. Ah, man, wow. I need my coffee. But look, y'all, what I got for y'all today. This is part two. This is part two to a video I made about overweight kids and who's to blame. Overweight kids and who's to blame, part two. Part two. So, jumping right into it, right? When we talk about overweight kids, um, does that necessarily mean that their parents are overweight? Is that just like a given when you see overweight kids or when you hear somebody talk about overweight kids? In your mind, in your own mind, do you just automatically assume that their parents are big? Or is that just a stereotype? You know what I'm saying? Because not every child that's overweight means that their parents or parent, whichever one, you know what I'm saying, if they're a single parent household, it doesn't mean that their parent is overweight, right? But more times than not, and I hate to say this, more times than not, though, especially according to the number, you know what? Forget the numbers. But more times than not, um, if the child is big, the parent is big, or parents, at least one of the parents are big, or you know what I'm saying, overweight, right? And that's just according to the numbers. But let's not do numbers, whatever, because this is really personal for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So forget stats. Let's deal in reality. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, when we talk about overweight kids, we naturally assume that the parent is overweight. Be it right or wrong, that's what we naturally assume, right? So should we start targeting the parents and try to get the parent to do more of leading by example? You see what I'm saying? Then target the child. You see what I'm saying? So let's say that again. Should we target the parent who should lead by example, or should we just target the child and go straight to try to fixing the child since the parent is already grown, can make their own decisions, stuff like that, right? But if you start working on the child is more impressionable, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You can get them to go along and go, healthy weight and stuff like that. And also lead by example once again, by watching that parent, whoever it may be, or guardian or whatever. So once again, y'all, taking it all the way back. Who's to blame for this? Like, who's specifically to blame? Can you say the child is to blame? I don't think we could ever say the child is to blame. I don't think we can ever say the child 100% is to blame. The child is only going to do what he or she is allowed to do. And we know that some kids, sneak and eat and all that other stuff. But we're talking about overweight, significantly overweight, 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight as a child. That's not on the child. That's not the child's fault, primarily, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. I think the blame goes to the parent, um, whoever the parent may be, mother, father, both of them, if they both raise the kids together. I don't think you can just say one person is responsible for it. One person, if it's two parents in the household, I'm saying. If it's two parents in the household. If it's a one parent household, then that blame and responsibility falls to that one parent. It does. I mean, it's no different than that one parent getting the praise. You know what I'm saying? If that child grows up and, does something super spectacular, you know what I'm saying? The praise and honor will go to that one parent for being a single parent who raised a child to do something great. So, opposite of that, it's the same thing. That same single parent would get not credit, but would get the blame for that child being overweight or being unhealthy overall. And I don't mean that the child has an ailment, you know what I'm saying, or a sickness, you know what I'm saying, something like that. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm just speaking strictly to weight, strictly to weight, strictly due to overeating and stuff like that. Now, also, like I touched on in the last video, let me say this. I totally understand. I totally understand that parents provide their kids the food that they can afford to provide them. I get it. I understand that. I understand that, y'all. But you got to know that if you're constantly feeding your kids McDonald's or fast food and stuff like that, you got to know the consequences of that. You have to. And or if that's all you can afford, until you get paid or whatever, make sure your kids are doing some walking, some type of extracurricular activity or something to counterbalance all the fast food. I don't want nobody to think that I'm on here preaching. I'm not preaching. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give knowledge and stuff like that. Drop some gems and jewels and advice. You don't have to be a size 0, size 1, or anything like that, but just be healthy. Just be healthy. That's it. I think that's the key. People don't want to start working out and stuff because they just naturally assume that somebody's trying to get them down to a size 2, 4, you know what I'm saying, 6, or however the lady size run, or for the fellas, you know what I'm saying, a smaller size is something that they're not accustomed to, a 28, you know what I'm saying, something like that. People are not trying to do that. People are just trying to get you to be healthy. That's it. If you're healthy, 9 times out of 10, your kids will be healthy with a healthy weight. They're just going to do what they see their parents do. They're going to eat what they see their parents eat. That's why I'm saying all of this stems from the parent or parents. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your situation may be, whatever it might be. So I ain't tripping, y'all. I ain't trying to get on nobody, no one particular side. Not the single parent, not the double parents. I'm just saying we all got to do better, whatever the situation may be. Whatever it is, we all got to realize that these kids are the ones to blame. These kids are suffering. These kids are overweight. And when they overweight as kids, some of them aren't outgrowing that weight, because we know that some of them grow up, have growth spurts, get into sports, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, and they shed that weight. Some of them even use the weight for sports, offensive linemen, linebackers, that kind of stuff. And that helps them to become more healthy with the weight. You know what I'm saying? They're active and stuff like that. Now they have coaches and, stuff like, and it's on both sides for the men and the women. But for some kids, actually a lot of kids, because it's more likely that kids aren't going to play sports than that are playing sports, that's overweight. So for those kids that's not turning to sports, they're becoming young adults, you know what I'm saying, that's overweight. So it's going from the childhood to adulthood. It's just carrying over. You know what I'm saying? And then that brings on a whole new set of problems, or obstacles rather, not problems, but just a whole new set of obstacles that you won't necessarily have had to face. You know what I'm saying? If somebody would have told you about the weight or helped you about the weight when you were a child. So it's not your fault, you know what I'm saying? But it is now, it's your responsibility to do something about it. Think about it. Yeah, your mom or dad, they provided the food to make sure you was healthy, to make sure you was fed every night. But now, you are overweight, but now you're an adult. Now, you know what I'm saying? You're a young adult. Maybe you're going into college, or maybe it's after high school. Now this becomes your sole responsibility. It's solely your responsibility to handle this now. It is. It it may not seem fair when you look at it like that, in its totality, but unfortunately this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is now your responsibility solely. It's on you. You can either keep this weight on, or you can do something about it. You can do something about it. You know what I'm saying? You can hire a personal trainer, dietitian, nutritionist, you know what I'm saying, life coach, whatever it might be, to get to a healthy weight. A healthy weight. And once again, that don't mean a size 2, 4, 6, 8. You know what I'm saying? It just means a healthy weight, wherever you might feel comfortable at. And I understand that for some people, they're once they become grown, you know what I'm saying? Like if you was overweight as a child, once you become grown, it's harder for you to get into that mode of, you know what I'm saying, trying to work out and stuff like that, because you become accustomed to it, right? But let me say this, and I know plenty of people who've done this, and they've told me this out of their own mouth. It wasn't until they themselves got fed up with it, totally 100% fed up with it, before something happened. It wasn't nobody talking to them. It wasn't their significant other. It wasn't their mother, their dad, coach, none of that other stuff I just said, dietitian, nutrition, none of that. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't until they themselves got totally 100% fed up with it before changes started happening. And I know what you're thinking. What Doug said, that's with anybody. But no, not necessarily, because we know some of us can be motivated by others. As soon as you see it, hey, you putting on a little weight there, bro. Especially with bro, we can talk to each other how we talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can be motivated. You know what I'm saying? But we also know that for some people, it's not until they just totally 100% ain't got no other choice, no other option. This is it, lose weight or else. You know what I'm saying? And this is, like I said, when you're coming from a child into adulthood. And I mean like grown. I ain't talking about early 20s. I'm talking about like 40s, pushing 50 when you like on that end of it. You know what I'm saying? But you started out as a child and just continued your whole, you know what I'm saying, your whole life. So you just absolutely fed up with it. And that's normally when people gonna do something about it. As crazy as that may sound, people gotta be pushed to their like absolute breaking point before they do something about their weight. And that's sad. That's absolutely sad, for real. Now what's funny though is this current generation, oh, they don't care nothing about weight. They want all the weight they can get because they think that, they want big butts and all that stuff, and they think that all the weight that they gain gonna go straight to their butt. Disregarding the other places, they'll just go get lipo. But that's a whole nother issue. But what it ties in, because this generation is gaining weight, not understanding that their kids are going to be doing the same thing. Their kids are going to be doing the same thing. Why? Because this is what they see. This is what they see. So yeah, you might see mama going to the gym a little bit every now and again. You know what I'm saying? You might see her going to the gym, but you see her shoveling all this food every day. Now, which one is going to outweigh, you know what I'm saying, the other? I'm just saying, like, come on now. You want to gain this weight. You want to gain this weight so you can have a big butt and big thighs. Okay. Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's where it started. It's stuff like that. It's stuff like that that makes some of these overweight kids. And it's just not fair to the kids. It's just not fair to the kids. Because some of us are creating these overweight kids. And I say us, meaning parents, you know what I'm saying? Because I have kids. So some of us are creating these overweight kids and just thinking that it's just okay. It's not okay, y'all. It's not okay. So please, y'all, be more mindful. Be more mindful of the things that you're eating. Some of the things that you are showing your kids to eat or telling your kids about. Or are you doing it? Are you explaining some of the things to your kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look out for this, look out for this, look out for this. Or are you just constantly just eating? Eating. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. I'm out of time. Till the next time. I'm screaming, let's talk.